Sonnen's promotional efforts come to a head with Anderson Silva. Thiago Alves has waited over 4 years to avenge his loss to John Fitch, and Renzo Gracie sends out his big dog for Matt Hughes. This is the Fight Network's preview of UFC 117.
I love it.
Hey everybody, my name is John Pollock, and this is the Fight Network's preview of UFC 117 that goes down this Saturday night from the Oracle Arena in Oakland, California. The main card has a distinct theme of the US versus Brazil, but we're also going to see some other elements at play this Saturday night, such as Ricardo Almeida looking for redemption against Matt Hughes, Thiago Alves looks to erase a loss from his record, and the main event can only be described as a grudge bout featuring one of the greatest one-man promotional efforts in mixed martial arts history.
The main event of UFC 117 will be headlined by 26-4 UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva, looking to make his 7th defense of his middleweight championship against veteran Chael Sonnen, whose trash-talking approach has made this one of the most anticipated grudge matches in UFC history. Sonnen earned his title shot through straight wins over Dan Miller, Yushin Okami, and Nate Marquardt.
Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva, that's another tough one, with Anderson having the striking ability he has. And the accuracy, and he's got great footwork. He's hard to catch. Shonen's as far as striking goes, I don't see him trying to bang with Silva. That's usually not a very good idea. We all know what happens when you try to bang with Anderson.
I think Chael Sonnen is a true politician in every sense of the word, and a great promoter for the fight. But I mean, the fight's won in the cage, not in the talking match.
Chael's a smart guy, which is what he's doing. He's selling the fight. He doesn't mean half the stuff he's saying probably, but he's a pretty smart guy. He's got a lot of interest behind the fight. He's a quality fighter as well, so it'll be interesting.
Guy talked blah, 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 but go inside the ring, in octagon, it's different.
I trained with Chael a lot. He's a great kid. I think he has the perfect style to match up against Anderson. Anderson's going to have to fight him. He's not going to be able to run from him, and there will be a lot of showboating going on. I think Chael has the ability to take him down, smother him, and be real hard on him, just like we saw with Marquardt. I think that style of fight is going to be tough for Anderson to deal with.
It's going to be interesting, but if the fight goes on the ground and Sonnen is on top, we're going to have a new champ.
Bom, o Anderson Silva, acho que dessa vez ele passa mais uma vez rápido e acho que essa vez essa vitória está pro Anderson também de novo.
I think Shonen's going to want to take it to the ground and test Anderson's ground ability, test his jiu-jitsu. So I think it's going to be a clash of styles. Anderson's going to want to keep it up on the feet. He's going to pepper him. He's going to want to knock him out. Shonen's going to want to get the fight to the ground. So it should be interesting.
But Anderson hasn't been finished by some top guys, and he's got good striking and good jiu-jitsu. So I go with Anderson in that fight.
You're not going to be able to see Silva kind of stall and play with the guy, because I don't think you can do that with a guy like Chael, because winning or losing, Chael is going to come after you, and in the clinch, he's dangerous with takedowns. With that being said, though, I think Anderson fights well when guys come after him. So I could see it being a competitive fight, but hard fight for Chael. I think edge to Anderson.
Anderson is still the man, and I really don't see Anderson having a trouble on the ground or on the feet with Chael. Like Chael's very wild, and the thing with Anderson is he's so good at finding holes. And anyone who's like looping punches and diving forward is very easy to counterpunch, and that's what Anderson's great at. Is someone coming straight at him. If you watch a Forrest Griffin fight, when he finds holes, that's when he puts you to sleep.
Anybody can be beaten, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can fight that kid right there. If he catches me the right shot, put me to sleep. Anybody can get beat. It doesn't make no difference. If Anderson's going to beat Chael, he's to move and do what he normally does. The person with a better game plan and the more heart and the more focus is going to win the fight.
Eu acho que dá Anderson Silva por decisão. Por quê? Porque eu acho que o Anderson vai neutralizar o jogo dele.
Every fighter is going to have, Chael's getting his opportunity now to step up and fulfill a dream of his. And, there's a lot of fighters out there that are frustrated fighters that say a lot of things that are untrue. They just try to hype the fight. But he's going to have his opportunity on August 7th. And, a lot of people talk. We'll see what happens.
Over time, the sport of MMA has shaken its negative stereotypes to some degree and entered into a new phase of popularity and mainstream acceptance. Although many feel that hard work and determination will get you to the promised land, it isn't always a given. The development of colorful characters and fighter gimmicks throughout the sport's brief history has been very important to where MMA is today.
Taking from aspects of pro wrestling, fighters are starting to understand that not only do you need to be in top physical and mental condition, but the ability to sell fights has also become a vital aspect.
I'm looking to take his head off, and if he wants to stand up, great. I've been boxing my butt off, and I'm looking to take his head off.
I will be champion. I'm gonna make 205, and then you ain't got no shit to talk. And your lady sitting next to you, she's looking how cute I am, and you know she's thinking about me while you guys are getting busy.
To really sit there and say, well, the whole night was dependent upon that injury, I'm like, okay, well then you're stupid.
Over the last number of years, trash talking has become somewhat of an art within the MMA community, with some of the sport's biggest draws engaging in verbal warfare.
I don't like that guy. That was Kurt Pellegrino.
He ain't ever gonna hurt me. Even with the kicks, none of it hurt. The body shot, psh, man, I didn't do nothing.
First of all, he's got the face you just want to smack. And second of all, the guy talks crap, so it's good. If a guy first verbally takes a poke or a jab at me, thank you, man, it's on.
One fighter has taken the vocal bashing to the next level, mercilessly picking on his opponent in an attempt to create hype.
The guys in the back know who the tough guy is. If we walk in the back dressing room and Anderson says put on hip-hop and Chael walks in and says put on country, I guarantee it's going to be a hoedown. The guys are going to do what I say. So as far as him being the bully of the playground, well, his 15 minutes of fame is up.
Proud Republican Chael Sonnen is more than happy to insult, bash, and degrade middleweight champion Anderson Silva in hopes of huge ratings on Saturday night.
I want to go home and watch myself on TV for as long of airtime as I can get, and if that's 15 minutes camera time, that's how long I want. Anderson Silva will be in tears before it's all over. You know, look, there's just a lot out there on the guy. I mean, this guy's no more real than the Loch Ness Monster. I've called him out for 4 years, and I called Rich Franklin out for 2 years before that. Okay, this is my time. Secondly, he does speak English, and I can prove it. It's called YouTube.
UFC is my house. I love the people. I love my fans.
You like interacting with the fans?
Yeah, I love it.
Since the announcement of the fight, Silva has failed to respond to the Division I wrestler, despite an oral onslaught.
It's fine. It's okay. No problem.
You will solve this problem in August.
It really is annoying to hear Anderson talk about himself, and I read some interview. I was embarrassed for him. He was talking about painting this masterpiece and how he's this sculptor and everything's perfect and coming into place. And you know, I'm sitting at home on my couch going, "What'd you do? Who'd you fight in the top 10?"
On Saturday, however, words will mean nothing when the cage door closes and Sonnen is face-to-face with a man many consider to be the best fighter in the world, a fact the 33-year-old is well aware of.
This isn't Chael coming out and trying to put Anderson down every chance he gets. Anderson is fantastic. He's the champion of the world for a reason. I get that. I'm not delusional.
The seemingly unstoppable Silva will have his hands full with the egotistical Sonnen, who presents a unique challenge for the Brazilian. If the Team Quest fighter can get the fight to the ground, what answers will the BJJ black belt under the Nogueiras have for the outspoken title challenger?
He's got a black belt under the Nogueira brothers. I think a black belt under the Nogueira brothers is saying I got a free toy in my Happy Meal. I don't really understand what the big deal is. One of them's a punching bag, and the other one I just ignore. He's really irrelevant.
Will Silva shake his recent reputation of being a dull fighter and engage Sonnen to make an example of a man who has insulted him and his team? Or will Chael Sonnen beat the odds and become the 5th man in history to win the middleweight title?
I've heard of you. Now, I didn't know I'd ever meet you, but ladies and gentlemen, this is Anderson Silva's fan. I heard that he had one. I saved Anderson's job. Uncle Dana was going to give him his walking papers, and I begged him, keep him around. Keep him around for one more fight. I will retire this guy. He's a fraud. It's kind of like he gets in the ring and he likes to bow. He doesn't come from a bowing culture. If you bow in Brazil, they'll hit you over your head and take your wallet and walk off laughing. You know, I've been telling people for a while now, Anderson Silva speaks English. He just refuses to speak to his fans.
John Ramdeen joins us to break down UFC 117. Let's start with the main event, John. Chael Sonnen has done a phenomenal job in terms of making himself and selling this fight, but at the end of the day, he is still stepping into the octagon against a guy who some people still believe is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Exactly, and I think you talk about Chael Sonnen selling this fight. I think he's done such a good job of selling this fight that he's changed the betting odds. A lot of people are giving Chael Sonnen maybe a better chance than he deserves against Anderson Silva in this fight, but there is a clear game plan for Chael Sonnen. Use his wrestling skills to get this fight out of the ground because he doesn't want to mess with the stand-up game of Anderson Silva, obviously.
And we've seen Anderson Silva in the past have problems with wrestlers such as Dan Henderson, who did win that first round against him all the way back in 2008.
Yeah, but the thing about Anderson Silva, he's a very intelligent fighter. He's going to be ready to fight 25 minutes, as is Chael Sonnen. And I know the game plan for Anderson Silva is work off of his back. Chael Sonnen has been very susceptible to submissions in the past, so Anderson Silva will probably try to exploit that weakness if the fight does go to the ground, and it's hard to believe that it won't. Although training with Mark Munoz for this fight, Munoz obviously training for his fight for Yushin Okami, he would have shot in on Anderson Silva a number of times and got him prepared for this fight. So an interesting fight. Anderson Silva clearly wants to keep this fight standing, but I don't think he's going to be afraid to fight from his back.
What did you make of Anderson's performance against Damian Maia, where he later cited that he felt that he was being very disrespectful in the media? You contrast that to Chael Sonnen, who has multiplied that in the media. What kind of Anderson Silva are you going to see? Are you going to see an emotional Anderson Silva this Saturday?
Well, it depends. One of the things that Chael Sonnen has attacked is he attacked the Nogueiras. And if you've seen any of the pictures online or you've seen any Anderson Silva interviews that he talks about the Nogueira, he holds them in such high regard. So it's very similar to the Dan Henderson-Michael Bisping fight, where Bisping, I think, did such a good job of amping up the fight and selling the fight. He also motivated Dan Henderson to get the best Dan Henderson possible, and I think the same thing goes to Chael Sonnen. I think Sonnen has really put out the message for Anderson Silva to be in tip-top shape, and I'm afraid Chael Sonnen's going to get exactly that on Saturday.
And how will Anderson Silva do so?
I think Anderson Silva will catch Chael Sonnen in the second or third round with either a submission, or I think he just destroys him standing in the second round.
And then it's on to the ultimate fighter for Chael Sonnen, because I want to see this guy as a coach.